All right. So listen, guys, good morning and happy New Year's to each and every one of you. I hope you guys had a great season, holiday season, because I did, man. I ate a lot of food and I got to go to the gym on Tuesday so I can lose some of this weight. But it was good though. It was good food. My daughter and my granddaughter, they did a great job in the kitchen, and I tell you, I enjoyed it. So I hope you guys had enjoyed the same thing. I mean, we played games and we just did all kinds of stuff. Watch movies. We even watch old movies like Life. You remember Life, guys? You remember
Wow.
that?
Yes.
Well, we watched that, had a great fun. How it came up was that my granddaughter had fixed some homemade cornbread. And I said to her, can I get some of that? Can I get some of your cornbread? And that's when they thought about Life. You remember that part in there? And so we said, let's watch Life. But anyway, it was really good and everything. So listen, guys. So this is our new coffee canvas and conversation. We're going to have some fun in 26. And I just want to introduce my co-host to you, which is, and I call him Coach. But wait a minute. We lost somebody. Uh-oh. Who did we lose? How did we lose her?
Why?
No, I'm trying to get her back, but anyway, we got to get her back in a minute. But we lost Dr. Bridges. But anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to introduce Coach Bernard Mathis, which is also an insurance agent, and he's going to be talking about retirement and nursing today. So this is going to be really interesting because some of us are on our way to the nursing home and some of us have retired. So that's going to be very interesting. And so we're going to talk about that. So we also have our co-host, Gary Taylor, which is our journalist, and he's also helping us put together our e-magazine, and we're having some fun doing that. And I think he's going to be introducing Mr. Mathis first. And so that's going to be like really, really cool. We also have our co-host on here, Miss Jan Canada, and she's our poet. She's also an author, and she's doing a great job hanging in here with us. And then we also have Dr. Lulu, which somehow has popped off the screen, but she'll be on in a minute, back on. We'll see if we can get her back on. And today, we're just going to go ahead and turn it over to Mr. Mathis. Mr. Bernard Mathis, you're on.
I'm on. Okay. I had a good time the last time we were here. Hopefully, everybody learned a few things. Kind of making me go back in my memory and think of stuff. But insurance in the Black community is, as I say, I keep saying, is primarily a death venue, and so the more people we can talk to get us better educated as to what insurance does, other than we die, the company pays, and then we leave it to folks, and unfortunately, sometimes they don't use it properly. But today we're going to just talk about nursing homes. Nursing homes, in the Black community, again. I'll never go to a nursing home. And yes, you might pass before you go. That's, we knew how many days we had left and everything would be in good order. But since we don't know, then there's a good possibility of going to a nursing home based on age, based on the type of help that you need as we age. I think about, and also who is in your grouping to take care of you also. And when I say that is, you start out primarily using family members as we age. And then finally it'll get to a point where we'll have to have somebody actually come to the house and help us. And then I guess you call it the third stage would be that of actually in a facility, and in going through those stages, the family members' position is good and bad. And when I say good and bad, the person who your caregiver is normally, like say, a relative, who has other responsibilities and along with you. And especially if you happen to live in the household with a person, a son, daughter, whomever, that type of relationship, then you're in a little bit better position, because that person, when they come home in the afternoon, they can actually do things with you and for you. The person who has to actually get off work and then come, or get off or take time off work to take care of you, then that puts a little bit of a burden on that person. And sometimes you say, well, it's going to be me and Johnny and Susie. My 2 or 3 or 4 people said they're going to mess up and they're going to do these things. Well, all of a sudden, somebody has to go to the doctor at the time that they need to come to you. Other issues, I might have to go to work, my schedule changed, all kinds of things happen, where all of a sudden now those persons who were taking care of you, they can't take care of you as good as they want to, because their lives are being interrupted. Not you can't say, well, your life is being interrupted. They've been blessed with parents. They say, well, I interrupted my life for you a lot of times. So it gets to be an interesting position to be in, because now like I say, you have to go out and have agencies, have somebody from an agency come and do things for you. And sometimes it's free, and then sometimes you actually have to start paying out of pocket to have these persons come to you. And so
I have a question I want to ask you, if it's okay, is that now when my husband was in his transition, he had hospice care as long as he was doing, fairly okay,
right.
that came to the house that would, so I can go to work, that would feed him and
Right.
change his clothes, which he didn't want anybody to touch him, but they would do those things, and
Right.
sit with them until I came home from, and of course, his insurance was paying for it,
Right.
But so is that only for people that are terminal, or can do hospice?
It varies, because you can actually potentially, depending on your financial situation, you could have a person come and be your caregiver, and this technically the state pays for it. So it just depends on your situation and how you technically want it done, that you can have a caregiver. I have a special needs child, so she has a person come, technically a semi-part-time person comes after she gets out of school and works with her on 5 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just depends on the situation as to whether you pay or you can, because it's going to be based on the financial situation of the person who needs the care. And and yes, and the insurance will pay for that person to come and take care of you.
Mm-hmm.
And you say, I just need the person to come during the day or certain times of day, and then my family is going to handle the evening situation.
Mm-hmm.
So it just depends.
And then there's other things that I've seen, is that the caretakers are sometimes family members that the state actually pay them to take care of their. Is that the way it is?
That can be a position also, that they actually pay a family member to take care of you. It all, you have to kind of get in the system, and then the system says, oh yeah, you qualify for this, you qualify for this, you don't qualify for this. And then it'll give you a good idea as to what your responsibilities are inside of the situation.
Anybody
and usually
Gary has a question. Gary?
Yes.
Does every state pay for that, or is it just certain states, or how does that work?
Normally it's every state, but every state doesn't have the same qualifying rules.
Okay.
They have baselines, but then they may say Alabama rules versus a Georgia rule may be different just based on the state that you're in.
And how do we go about finding out about the rules of
Well,
doing?
The doctor's office will start sending you in directions that you need to go to qualify for these services, because the doctors also do a summary for you to qualify, and so they just kind of will go to so and so, and then go to Johnny, go to Susie, go to da 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 da, and
Yeah,
usually
and I guess that's the reason why my husband was in hospice at the end, is because it was the doctor that recommended him, because he knew that he only had a few months, and so he recommended that we could, care from hospice. And then when it got so bad, we had to call hospice, because they have a place for you in hospice already, because they know that you're coming to the end. So we just called them up. It was like 2:30 in the morning, and say, he's not doing anything right now. We can't even get him to go to the bathroom. They said, well, get him over here right now. In fact, they sent the ambulance to come and get him, to bring him to hospice. I think he lived like 5 days after that. So that was, took a lot of pressure off the family, knowing that we had that type of care up until, he was gone. But everybody don't know what to do. Everybody, they have no idea who to call, what to do, and that's why we like to have these, informational podcasts, so that people could, learn that there are resources out there.
Yeah, because usually they'll sometimes people are getting mad. Well, they should have told me. Well, your doctor is your starting point. Your doctor is your starting point. And then you also have let's say that you're a single person. I work briefly with a single person who made a decision that she finally wanted to go to a nursing home. She's in her 80s. In fact, she's 84. And she decided, I'm tired of taking care of the house and waiting on relatives and all that. I'm gonna go to the facility, and in going to the facility, what happens when you go to the facility? Then of course you're paying. You are a payer at that point, and so they look at your Social Security. They look at your finances to see where you're at as far as your ability to pay for those services there. They'll take technically everybody, but it depends on your financial position as to what they can or will do for you. Like this person, she had Social Security and she had retirement, so she was in pretty much up at she was within $500 of being able to pay for herself. And usually, because what happens is when you go to a nursing home, they start gathering, do you have Social Security? Do you have, what do you have? Okay. That can help support you in that situation. And then, if you can, like her situation, based on what she had, she could qualify. She was within $500 of qualifying for her monthly position at the nursing home, and so she sold her house. And in fact, what the situation was, the realtor was a friend of mine, and so that's how I got on the case. Is the person needed, well, what she wanted to do is that she didn't want Social Security to take her house. Okay, that's another thing that people don't understand. Yes, you own property, you own a house, real property, or land, whatever. Either one of those have real property. Then what Social Security does is that they take that property. You sign that deed over to Social Security, and then they own that property, and then they subsidize that. Let's say with her, they would have subsidized that $500 that she needed.
Yeah, okay. Is that all states?
Normally, all states will do. Yes, Yes, all states.
So you telling me, so if I have property and I
Yes.
owe the nursing home money, they can actually take my property? I mean, how about your kids and the people? No, what?
When you get ready to enter a facility, then you divulge. Now, if your kids want to pay the $500, fine, they keep the property. But if they decide they don't want to pay it, then the property goes with you to the nursing home.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, excuse me, this is Jan. I have heard that before, but my thing is, I guess I'm thinking that, okay, so the kids will get the Social Security will get, the nursing home would get the home that
Yes.
you own,
Yes.
and they can either sell it or, am I thinking correctly? They can sell it to get the money,
They could, but they don't.
So
but they
what they
just
do
let it
with it?
sit and rot. A lot of them just sit. They don't do anything
Right.
with the property.
Right. There you go. The
So
government owns
who actually owns it?
the government. The government
The
owns it.
government owns it.
Yes, the government owns it. And they do
Oh,
not
boy.
sell those properties. They do not sell those properties. People think,
I guess
oh,
that's the reason why a lot of families keep their loved ones at home, even though they may not treat them right, or they become a burden to them, but they'll keep it so that they can keep that property in the family or keep that money in
Yeah.
the family. Because I know
Right.
a lot of people won't put their mothers and stuff in nursing homes because that means the money's going to go with them.
right,
And
Right.
so they'd rather keep them at home, misuse them or whatever, just so
Yeah.
that they can keep that money or keep that property.
right.
That's
Right.
the reality of it. Yeah.
That's the reality of it.
Mhm.
Because, yes,
Go ahead, Gary.
It sounds like nursing homes are very expensive.
it is. It is. A nursing home, baseline on a nursing home is probably $4,000 a month.
Wow.
Yeah. In that,
But
it's in that.
how about here's another component. How about living assistance? Like
Living assistance is a little less, but it's kind of like a graduation position. The assisted living is, you can basically take care of yourself. You just need a little help. So you go there, but you're paying for that service.
Mhm.
And then it graduates from that to the actual pure nursing home situation based on life and health. And when
So
it
if
makes
you-
that trend, so
Go
when you
ahead,
go
I'm
to
sorry.
let's say when you go to assisted living, you're still paying, but you're paying less potentially than you would being in the nursing home where you need
Mhm.
full assistance. That's technically the only difference between the two.
Wow.
Yeah, because you can actually you go to assisted living, give your property up. Then when you graduate to pure nursing home, then you're fine because you're still you're inside of the guidelines, if you would, for receiving the pure nursing home care because you started in assisted living.
Right. So if you were in assisted living, that means that you can have like a nurse to come and check on you, or
Well, you actually have a room.
I mean,
Yeah.
I thought that some of them have like whole apartments. Like,
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I mean.
okay,
Yes. They just come by and check and make sure that you fixed your food or eaten, taking medications.
taking
Da, 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 da.
medication.
Yeah,
So-
things like that. And
so
when you
there-
go to
So you go ahead, Jen.
Yes.
Well, I'm just asking because if you get Social Security and you get retirement, the nursing home has access to all of that. They actually get that check while you're there.
Right. And nursing home, it would still, because it's so similar with the home care and the nursing home care. It's like $10 difference in what your potential costs. It's really low as what your potential costs would be, but like say you've given up the property or you've given up the proceeds. Whereas, let's say this person needed $500 to go to assisted living. Okay, and so the plan that we put her on would pay her the $500 every month, and then at her passing, even she moved up to nursing home care, it would still continue to pay until she passed, which would suffice nursing home, assisted living home, and nursing home. It would do both because we're just spewing out that money on a consistent basis inside of what she was paying. And so the money was supposed to go back to the family, okay, at her passing. Because she didn't give up the money. She just sold the property and kept the money and subsidized herself being in the facility.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is
and so
is quite interesting.
yeah, and so since she was doing that, that money never became nursing home money from the sale of the property. And so unfortunately, though, evidently her and her family fell out because everything was in order to do it, and then all of a sudden you call them on the phone, couldn't get either group, the person who technically was supposed to get the money and the lady who actually was her money. You couldn't get them back on the phone anymore. Wow. And so mentally I said, well, okay, then what she did was she took her money and gave it to the facility. Now, what happens when you give the money to the facility, you don't get it back.
So that means that, say, like, for instance, that you put your mother or your father in a nursing home, and then they get all the money and stuff, and then you decide later on you want them to come back and stay with you because you have a better arrangement or whatever. You're not working anymore, whatever. I mean, can they come back? Will they get the money back too, or are you saying that they'll never get it back?
No. It depends. Well, potentially, once you give the property to them, then normally no, you won't get it back.
Okay, so let's not talk about the property. Let's talk about just the money. Let's talk about the Social Security and the retirement monies, right? We know they take it when you're in the nursing home, right? But if somebody decide that they want you because maybe they're not treating your loved one right or something, you say, no, I'm going to bring my mama home or whatever, and then you come back home, the money comes back with you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But if the person stays in the facility until passing, then there's no transit.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Anybody have any questions?
Well, I kind of do, but I think I know the answer to it. But so that's why when I go into the nursing home and visit people, I see so many people in there and they don't have relatives coming to see them.
Yes.
Because they've either,
outlived them.
Well, that, and then they don't have the money that I guess some family members, they want the money or they want the property. And if they can get that, then they kind of leave them in there and they don't visit those people. I mean, it's kind of sad, but
it is sad. Yeah.
Well, they didn't
Gary?
Go ahead,
Gary.
Yeah.
Gary.
Okay, go. Gary.
So, Mr. Mathis, I guess the nursing home can take people's retirement money and SSI. Is that correct? Or
yeah, they take all of your tangible properties, if you would. So if you your Social Security and your
retirement
and retirement are first on the list, and then we go from there. And let's say that
I have no problem with that. I mean, fortunately, my mom, she lived to be 80 and she was able to take care of herself, but, because, my brothers was around her and everything. So she was cool. But I'm just thinking that, if my mom went into a nursing home and she wasn't treated right, because we had some problems with my mother-in-law in the nursing home. But if she wasn't treated right, then I would have to figure out some kind of way that I can have another way of taking care of my mom. You know what I'm saying? And so I just wanted to know, if you got your mom back, do you get everything back? But you're saying that you wouldn't get the house back that they lived in, but you would get finances back. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And in most cases, it seems like I've seen people put in a nursing home, but the family still lived in the house.
Yeah, well, they can live in it until,
but they don't own it.
There's an ownership position change. Let's say that if in your case, or all you guys' case, let's say that you say, well, this at some point in time, I'm going to have to go to a nursing home. Okay. And then you say, well, okay, what I'm going to do is my house. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the ownership names of that property. Okay. I'm going to make my children the owners of this property, and I just live here.
That's right. That makes sense to me. Yeah.
Okay. And so based on you not having the title to the that piece of property, then only your savings and your
things that are in your name,
or eligible, because like my mom had to go to a facility. Okay. And so she had worked at a company that she had Social Security, she had her retirement, and then she also had a supplement to her for nursing home care. She had a supplement to it. So from a dollar and cent standpoint, she was taken care of because she had 3 different sources of monies. So the property itself, we didn't have an issue because the property stayed in her name, which was no problem. And then we had sufficient funds to take care of her. Okay, so we didn't have that problem, and we kind of mapped that out earlier.
Yeah. Dr. Lula, do you have anything you want to ask about the nursing home before we go on to retirement?
No, because I just recently helped a friend get in the nursing home, and all the stuff that he's talking about is very true. But you also have to be concerned about extra things that the nursing home gives people. Like, for instance, they signed her up for some kind of something special they were doing with her, and they sent me a bill for $30,000. And actually, I was just her caretaker, not her. I'm not a family member, so I really wasn't responsible for it. So they removed that, but a lawyer sent me a bill for $30,000. So you have to be really concerned about everything that they're paying for in the nursing home as well.
And if the money that you're receiving can cover it.
Right. Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably the reason why a lot of people are at home being abused and everything by their family, and the families don't want to put them in there. For one, they don't want to lose the little money that they have coming in, and 2, they don't have the money to pay the extra. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I want to stay in shape. I want to stay well.
Yeah, me too.
I'm definitely going to the gym next week.
But it seems
will definitely make you do it.
Yeah, it seems to me that it's kind of like I've heard some people say, and I'm not trying to say some bad things, but it's a criminal enterprise because everybody else seems to win off of those that are less fortunate and at disadvantage.
Or worked all their entire life to get what they have. Yeah.
Right. And then somebody can just swoop down, the government can just swoop down and say, hey, we're going to take this because you can't pay. I've never been able to pay.
There's also another way now. I know that there was a lawyer that said that there's a way to keep the nursing home from getting your house.
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't looked into it because I'm like I'm like Barbara. I'm trying not to get it, not to even go there anyway. But
the-
there is a
But
way
I think
to
that,
do
I think
that.
that
There's
Mr.
a way.
Masters was saying that if you have this, the ownership turned over into your children's name or somebody else's ownership,
Niece or
and they can't
nephew.
touch it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you like I have a well, she passed away, but in her latter years she gave her she turned her property over to her children,
Mhm.
and so that took a chunk of money off the table for things. Now she was able to live at home too. She had good care at home, and
Yeah,
so
great system. Yeah.
yeah, so she had a system, and like I said, and the property stayed in within the family. I have another one that she lives in an apartment. Okay, so if she had to get, and she's 96, 97. So if she has to go to a facility because she doesn't own anything, see the thing about the facility deal is ownership. If you own anything, if you own an old car, if you own an old, you can have an old car out there that doesn't even run, but you still have the title to it.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's a
You're
part of
still
your
obligated. Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
That's a part of what you own, and
Yeah.
so in having that situation, then yeah, they'll come get the old car. They have to
And
haul it off with a wreck.
I wanna say one more thing. Okay, so the other part to that was the reason why they sent me the bill, according to them, was because they thought that she had an old car. Okay. And she didn't have a car. The son had wrecked the car. And so she didn't have a car. Somebody told them that she had a car. And so they sent me the bill for the $30,000. I'm like, the lady hadn't had a car in 900 years. You know, she doesn't have a car.
Well, what we're saying is that's how deep this thing is.
Yeah.
A car. She hadn't had a car in years.
So,
But somebody told them that she had one. They may have seen a car. The son may be living in the house, although he's not supposed to be in there.
Yeah.
So that's something I want to go back to when you're talking about the $30,000. But I want to go back to when you talk about that if you don't have enough money to pay out of your retirement money or your Social Security, then they take from the money from your house, right? So let me ask you this then. So if you don't have enough money, but your house was turned over to your family, do they send a bill to the family for the extra money that they need?
No, because
Well,
then
they should have sent that $30,000 bill
let's back up. No, let's back up. It depends on who owns. Let's say that they were still the family moved into the house. She or lived in the house while she was there. House was in her name. Okay, they come put the family out. Okay, because they're going to take that property because it's in her name to subsidize her being in the facility. Okay, wasn't the case. I went to see a guy. I was with Allstate at the time, and I went to see one of the agents who lived in Eufaula. Guy's agency was in Eufaula, so I went over to Eufaula, and we were talking about long-term care. And he says, there's a family about 3 blocks from here. The grandmother had to go to a facility, and the family and the house was in the grandmama's name. So the family, her kids and grandkids were living in the house. So the sheriff came by and said, "Look, y'all got to move in 90 days."
Wow.
Okay. They didn't move. They didn't move. They some kind of way they went somewhere for the day, and when they came back, all of their stuff was sitting out in their yard, and the doors were padlocked. They don't play.
Yeah,
They
that's
do not
it.
play with that.
I mean, God, the government are gangsters.
Yeah, they did give. I will say they did give me. They left in her bank account. They left her $5,000 to bury her.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I asked. I had to ask for it though. I
Oh
had to
yeah,
ask for it. It's still
yeah,
sitting in the bank. I haven't touched it. It's still
yeah,
sitting there.
yeah,
Because she's still living.
Yeah, because she's still living. Now
Okay.
yeah.
I really should give it to the funeral home and close that account out
And get a burial,
because
get a burial insurance. Yeah.
yeah. Well, if you get that's the other little
Yeah.
piece. If you get a burial insurance, the beneficiary has to be
Nursing facility.
the nursing facility.
Yeah,
Oh,
has to be facility. Yeah,
Yeah.
wow.
yeah,
Yep.
That is crazy. I'm just glad I'm
yeah,
learning this stuff, man. I
yeah.
gotta stay in shape, man. I gotta live.
And
Don't we have up to
another
120 years
well,
according to the Bible?
yeah, and another thing too, when we talk about the insurance policy. Let's say you have a whole life insurance that has cash value. Okay, then yeah, they make you cash that policy out up to what a burial will cost. Or actually go do a pre-burial,
Mm-hmm.
and then whatever the balance is left in that. Let's say you got $10,000 in that account. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
they make you cash it out and do the pre needs, and then whatever's left from the cash from that, you give it to them. Okay, now it
Wow.
could be, and it could be and the crazy part is that it could be a $50,000 policy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but they're only dealing with the cash value, not the death benefit. So they make you cash that contract out and
Government
do
is gangsters, man. I
a
tell
pre-need.
you.
Yeah, and that, as I
Wow.
said from the beginning, that property is never sold, because I was talking with some people over in Selma, and they were trying to. They had all this property. Person had passed away, and the guy he was political. He was a politician, and he says, "Yeah, what we need to do." And he was a minister too. He said, "What we need to do is possibly get in a situation where we can buy some of those properties and put some of our people in the church and help other people get a home and da 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 da." And then so he said he went to see the person who was over that area, and the person said, "No,
Huh? So that
we
means the
do not
houses
sell
could
that property."
sit there
Yes,
abandoned.
abandoned. Yes, and
That's
yes,
probably what a lot
abandoned.
is going on in Tuskegee, because I know when I take the kids to a tour in Tuskegee and we're driving around, I think that's called Greenville, whatever that division is there, and all those abandoned houses. I think even Rosa Parks' house or somebody's house is up in there. But that's probably why all those houses are sitting there, all
Yeah.
owned by the government.
Yes, and they
And
do not
nothing's
sell them.
done. And we talk about how bad it looks and everything, but it's the government that actually encourages that, and that's just
Yeah.
yeah. That's
And the plus another. I was in an insurance meeting once, and the speaker was this guy. He actually handled that area for the state of Alabama, and he came to our meeting, and I asked him afterwards. I said, "What do they do with the properties?" And he was telling me, he said, "Well, what we do is we handle the taking of the property and the disposition of it, but because we're state employed, we're a state agency, it still goes back to the federal government as to what they want to do with it. We just handle the paperwork of processing it and then send it to the government. And as I say, government doesn't do anything with that property at all. They don't sell it to nobody. I mean, so I don't care who it is.
they actually tear it down. They would have
They will tear.
yeah, because we had my husband, of course, was a builder, and he was into buying houses and flipping them. And we had asked for about a couple of properties that had just been sitting around. And once we started asking about it, the next thing you know, we come through there, they're tearing the house down. I'm like, wow, must be a lot of people asking about that property,
Yeah.
And I never knew what was the problem with it. But now that you're telling us this, I'm saying, well, probably a lot of that property was from people that had died that, you know, the government took over. And
Right.
that's just crazy.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Yeah, that's that's another way of keeping us down, right?
Well,
You know,
it
because
keeps everybody down.
it'd be nice to, you know, if you can go in there with all the home improvement people and the building people can go in there and
Yeah.
take those houses and refurbish them and build the neighborhood back up, you know.
They
But
could,
if they
yeah.
got the houses sitting there abandoned and you know, rotting out and everything, that's just, you know, making it slum like, you know, and
I
that's
wonder if you got your congressman involved in that and had that conversation, would it be possible to do that?
It'd probably be a good conversation, but my mental mind tells me, and like I said, from talking to the state director, that no, it ain't gonna happen, because it's not only happening, it happens all over the United States. So it's not like something that only a Georgia or Alabama deal. It's happening all over the United States.
So, but like, I'm kind of like Dr. Lulu. I just think that if it was enough people protesting, going to the table with our elected officials, I would think that somebody can write up some type of bill that can change that, you know, because it would change the way our, you know, our property looks in different areas. If people can go in and buy those houses for a little or nothing and fix them up instead of just having them sit there.
Yeah, especially in our neighborhoods, it would be definitely a great thing to happen. And I'm not saying don't approach those persons. If you know those persons can pull their coattails, then yeah, I think it would be a great thing overall for all areas, because it's happening in all areas. They're not being prejudiced and said, no, we're just doing it on the black side of town, which is what we think.
Right.
No, they're doing it. They're putting white folks out too.
Yeah.
I really think there's a beautiful home in my neighborhood, and I really believe that's what happened. That house is just sitting there, and children have just abandoned it now. They don't come back anymore or anything. So I think that's probably what happened.
Yeah.
That is like so sad. And I just think, and I'm glad that, you know, we're having these conversations, because me working with civil rights organizations and everything, and I just talked to the president of Georgia, the new president of Georgia, and we were talking about housing. That may be one of the things that they may want to get together.
She's my friend. Yeah, I know her.
You know her?
Mama Show.
So maybe that's one of the things that in housing they need to talk about, is all these houses that are sitting here because the government has taken over and don't want anybody to buy them or anything like that. We really need to look into that.
Well,
we need to talk to some of our, elected officials and see what we can do about that, because that is something that now I'm concerned about when I see all these neighborhoods with all these houses just sitting there boarded up, and some of them are not boarded up, and homeless people are living in it, and it's kind of dangerous for the kids and stuff like that. So that may be something that we can look into.
Well,
I'm just saying. I mean, nothing makes it happen, but at least we can.
I think it would be a great thing, because, you know, it would be something that was, you know, that would be a great workshop to have for that group of people, because sometimes that's not on their radar, and they're just going, okay, let me move on to something else that has a little bit more kick to it.
Right.
But once they had a better understanding as to what happens, and it's not a black thing or a white thing. It's just a thing that everybody's in the.
It's a government thing.
It's a government
and the thing is that if just think about it now, Coach, just think about it. So say that there's a house in Tuskegee that we want to save that's under that policy or whatever, and we all got together as a group and say we want to redo this house, sort of like Humane, what is it, Habitat Humane, and we want to take the house and fix it up as a group. Right, and then rent it out, or use it for whatever. I mean, we should be able to do that.
You should, but like I said, the big thing.
But not without a change of bill.
Yeah, that would. that's at the end of the day, that's what's going to have to happen, is that the government's going to have to come in and release those areas back to whatever civic group it is, if you would, and not necessarily because I think the mindset would potentially be, if I just let Johnny, if I were to change the law, then Johnny, who's got plenty of money, could go in and just buy out that whole street, if you would, of houses in that condition. Whereas, yeah, if it came down from a civic position that, hey, Habitat Humanity or whomever could buy that house, and then instead of building a house per se, could go back and refurbish, then they could refurbish 3 or 4 houses. You see what I'm saying? Based on what it would cost to just build one. So,
Right.
I mean, it'd be a good thing, but you've got
Her house belongs. She got her house from the housing authority, and I mean, she paid for it through the housing authority. It was paid for, and they took it. But I mean, the housing authority is a governmental entity. Look like they would say, okay, well, you know, we'll let the housing authority have it back, and just you know, let them put some other people in it.
Yeah, that would be the great mental thing to do, but they don't think like that. Once it gets,
No, because it's a criminal enterprise, and they're
That's
out
what
to
it is. That's
gain as much
exactly.
as they can. But I was thinking about this comedian. I think his name is Mike Epps, and he went and bought up his old neighborhood. I forget what state it was in.
Oh yeah, I
But
used to
he,
know where he was from. Where was he from?
yeah,
Connecticut.
but he bought up that whole block, and he started, like he's Mr. Massey said, he was refurbishing the houses. And I guess he paid for them to do that and then maybe sell them to some people. He just wanted to refurbish his, restore
His
his
own
neighborhood.
neighborhood. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was allowed to do that. How much money he had to spend out, some money has to be involved
Of
if
course.
they let him do
Gary?
that.
oh yeah,
Gary.
oh yeah.
I was in Dearborn, Michigan about 15 or 20 years ago, and we saw a whole neighborhood full of those houses, and our tour guide told us that a lot of those houses were abandoned and they were selling for $1 and $2 a house, and they were beautiful houses.
So in Columbus, Georgia, that's how the businesses are. If they have abandoned banks and stuff like that, NAACP actually purchased a bank to turn into a computer lab thing, right? And they only paid $1 for it. They give you so much time to fix it up. But that's a little different to me than the insurance the nursing homes that are taking these houses and turning them over to the government. Is a little different than somebody actually owning property and abandoned it, and then the city takes over, and then they
So
sell
how
it.
does
I think that's a little
how does
different,
the
right?
nursing home get their money?
How
If
do
they
they get
just
their
leave these houses abandoned and they don't sell them, then how do they get their money?
Oh, they don't care because the government is going to subsidize.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The government pays them, and then the house just sits there.
Yeah.
Bad use of taxpayers' dollars.
Right. It's crazy.
There's a lot to this nursing home thing, isn't it? I didn't know. I didn't realize it. I thought.
Well, we got the NAACP and other organizations that can step up and say we want to make a change. Now we know what we need to do. This is a good conversation. This is a good conversation for change.
I'm making notes of it, guys. It is really good because we really need to do something. At least let them tell us why they don't do it. Why they don't,
But don't you have to go through the local government first? Because if the local government, they can block any kind of plans that you have if they don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Because I know some young men that went out to try to buy some homes in Tuskegee. That's where I'm from. And they were told, oh, no, those houses aren't for sale.
That's what I'm telling you what happened with my husband. Every time he goes and asks about these properties and stuff, The next thing you know, they was tearing down these places that had been sitting there forever. You know, it was like,
Yeah.
why are you tearing it down when we asked to buy it? We asked to purchase it. Why are you tearing it down? You know what I'm saying? Just to keep you from having it.
Yeah.
And I don't think they really care. Like you said, I don't think they care if you're white or black or whatever, because a
yeah.
lot of times we were talking
Yeah.
to these people were on the telephone. They didn't know what we were, you know.
Right.
And so it's just crazy. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
It doesn't, but that's what they do.
Yeah, I understand. Well, guys, I just want to say that we actually almost took this whole hour of talking about nursing home. If it's okay with you, Coach, then we can come back the next time and talk about retirement, because that's another thing I want to talk about is retirement. That's another biggie, you know.
Well, see, that's another piece. I mean, because retirement, nursing home, and well, even to what you have your retirement monies in, you know, right down the street from the office, the bank is saying if you got $25,000, they will give you, and you put it in a CD, they'll pay you like 4.35, I think, interest. Okay, for 8 months. And so me and my friend, we were laughing about that because they're going to pay the 4.5 for 3 months as opposed to the full 8 months. And it becomes a taxable income. You tax on whatever your growth is over that 8-month
They take it
timeline.
right back.
And
So you don't really win the person.
yeah,
No, you really don't.
you're in about a 2% return on that monies because after Sam gets his pieces and all that, then yeah, you're still short. The bank made the money. And then, versus an annuity, a lot of people say, well, I don't like annuities because sometimes they say, well, based on the timeline that I've got to host, I've got to deal with an annuity. And an annuity, well, Social Security is an annuity. Your retirement becomes an annuity once you start receiving a monthly income from it.
That's right.
And so if you have personal monies, trying to, so that you can subsidize or just make money on you, let your money make money for you, then there are a few types of annuities, like what's called an indexed annuity. I do a lot of business in the indexed annuity area because the indexed annuity follows the market, but it does two things that the market does not do. Number one is when the market is down. Normally, if you have money in the market, if the market is down, whatever the market goes down to, your money in effect goes down with it. And so you have to go back and start rebuilding.
Right. Mr. Matthews, I want to cut that because that seems to me that it's going to take a little time.
It's going to take a while.
I got a lot of questions about retirement. So we don't have enough time to do that. The nursing home, we pretty much got the notes that we need to have to do what we need to do about that. But I want to go on to ask if Miss Jan would go ahead and read us a poem.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm
You can let him
going to let Mr. Matthews do his closing remark.
You could have let Mr. Matthews finish.
No,
Barbara,
come on,
but-
Maya Angela, don't play.
Okay,
It gets a little long, so it's something that we'll probably spend 30 to 45 minutes on the next time we meet.
That's why I said we'll just wait till the next time and hold the retirement for the next time, because as long as we're not in a nursing home and we're still here, we have plenty more months in this year to talk about insurance. Let's just pray we be here. The way it's going now, you're scaring me.
No, it was a tidbit to make you go home and start thinking about it, because we normally don't think about it. We do business with Johnny at the bank and all kinds of things like that, which are fine. But yeah, let's get this poem going here.
Okay.
Okay. This poem, it really is like 5 parts, but I'm just going to do a little bit of it. And it's titled Generations After Generations. And part 1 is hiding their emotions, and just give you an idea about the other part. Part 2 is displaced, misplaced fathers. And part 3 is divisiveness. And part 4, who do we blame? Part 5, still standing strong. So what I'm going to do is just do a little bit of part one, so it will give you an idea of what I'm talking about. So, hiding their emotions. I can't see their faces. I cannot see the faces of our young generation. Hiding their emotions in obvious places for obvious reasons. Hiding their emotions deep within. Why are you so angry, young Black men? Some feel being born Black is a curse, an awful shame, even though they are the stars in these sinister games. Hiding their emotions in obvious places. Why are you so angry, young Black man? Don't you know your soul is locked within? You are the stars in these unfair games. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me go to the next page. Just a moment.
Take your time.
Generations after generations, their fathers have been displaced out of sight. Black boys' hearts, emotions are displaced to ensure they do not stand a chance in winning this racial battle of being born Black. Make sure they do not win this battle of becoming a smart, strong, proud, and loving Black man. Hoodies pulled over their handsome, dark faces, hiding their emotions in obvious places for obvious reasons. Walking around in the daylight, life is a constant fight. Walking around in the moonlight, life is a constant fight. Hiding their emotions in obvious places. I'm
All
done.
right.
That was powerful. Wow. Gosh.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. That's awesome. All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. It's always
You're
such a
welcome.
pleasure to hear
That's
you reading
amazing.
your poetry. And also, she has a book out. Just tell them a little bit about your book. We are tweaking it. We are doing some revisions for it, but it is at Amazon.com for $18. But tell them just a little bit about the title of your book.
The title is African Violet, Mama's Little African Violet. And I gave it that title because my mom, that's what she used to call me. And yeah, because
My
and I
cute
know
little African Violet.
right, because all my sisters were a little bit, and people don't like to talk about, colors of the various Black folks, but my sisters were a little lighter than me, and my sisters would get a little upset with her, my mom, for why you got to be the little African Violet. But anyway, that's another story.
She had to give you that
I
special
enjoyed
attention.
it.
Let you
I
know that you was
enjoyed it.
just special.
I
But that's
was a
okay.
special
But
child.
thank you. Thank you so much. I just want to say this here, guys, right there in Montgomery, Alabama, for you guys that are in Alabama, they have the Martin Luther King birthday bash on January the 19th, this 2026. It's from 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock, I think it is. And we have some authors, young authors from 9 years old to 15 years old, are they're going to be there with their books and going to be set up with their merch. And we just want to be there to help them, enhance them to keep writing, right? So I'm going to fly to Montgomery the night before, help them set up on that day, of course, fly out and be back to Florida the next day. But I just want to be there to support them because I understand that this celebration that they have every year there in Montgomery downtown is very good. And I just want them to be there to get some exposure, sell some books, and encourage them. And so if you guys are in that area, the Montgomery, Alabama area, when they have this, I did send the flyers out and I'll send them out again. Please show up and support these kids that are coming in. Now, these young girls are coming from Columbus, Georgia. It only takes them about 40, 45 minutes to get to Montgomery. That's the reason why we didn't try to invite all of our authors there, because they're getting ready for March the 21st in Columbus, Georgia, where we have the Janet from Another Planet book tour. which is going to be at the Ambassadors of Christ on March the 21st. And so because they're getting ready for that by purchasing their books and stuff, their merch and all that stuff, we only invited the people that was in that area, Columbus, Alabama area, to be at this Martin Luther King birthday bash. So that's what I want to tell you that. Also on the 21st, we'll have Unique Euphony 18th year anniversary. We have been in business for 18 years now, and it's we usually that night after the book tour, that night we at 5 o'clock that evening, back we at the Montbello Italian restaurant, we would have dinner. We have it there every single year. We meet at that place. It's really, really nice. The food is really, really good. And we usually meet there and talk about what we're going to be doing the year coming. And that's in Columbus, Georgia, the same night as the book tour. So that is our 18th year anniversary. So yeah, so that's all the advancements I have. Anybody have anything to say before, Miss Jan, you have anything to say before we close out?
I was just thinking, you're going to be downtown. Are you all going to get a chance to go in the museums that are down there?
I think that if they want to, they can. Now, I know these kids that are coming from Columbus, they're only going to be there one day. They're going to turn around and they're going to go back. So after 2 o'clock or so, if the parents want to take them there, that's up to them. I've been to there. I even taken tours to the museums there, all the museums. So I'm definitely going to be flying back because I have to be back in Florida on Tuesday. So
okay.
So I'll be flying back. So the kids, I'm going to make sure that they have brochures and stuff. I'm going to send it to them. So if they want to do that after 2 o'clock and then get back home before it get dark, because they have to go to school the next day.
Okay.
So we would do that. Yeah. But I'm hoping that you guys that can get over Montgomery, I'd like to meet you in person, and I'll be there. Okay. How about you, Gary? You got anything you want to say?
I've got a special request. If it would be okay with you, Pastor Pierce, as we close out, I was wondering if Coach could lead us in a closing prayer, if that would be okay with you.
That would be totally awesome. Okay, let me ask Dr. Lulie. Dr. Lulie, you have anything you want to say before we get ready to close out?
No, I just appreciate everybody. Wonderful discussion, and Happy New Year.
Very good. And I'm going to follow up on everything that we're saying. When we take these notes and stuff, we're very serious about following up on this podcast or the things that we talk about, right? We don't want anything to go into, waste or anything. But anyway, let's ask Mr. Mathis if he would close remarks, whatever, and close us out in prayer.
I'm just grateful to be here with this group. You got my mind moving. If you will.
And we're grateful for you, Mathis. You're a blessing to us, and it's an honor getting to know you and for this collaboration.
Yes,
Awesome.
Thank you. Prayer, Lord, I just want to thank you for the meeting. Thank you for the graciousness of the persons here. Thank you for all things that you do for us, putting us together with like minds to learn more so we can do more. In your name, gracious Lord, we thank you. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Thank you. Wonderfully done.
Yes, well, beautifully done. Guys, you have a great day. Don't overwork like I'm getting ready to go do. But you have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow at the National Children. I will send everybody the link. I wish you'll come in tomorrow because we got the kids doing some special stuff tomorrow. So if you can come on and just check it out, I'll send everybody a link, okay? See you guys later.
Okay.
Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you.